body bags where horror lies.
Now take my bitch. She won't complain about shit cause she's my hoe. She don't belong to a trick, so when you fuck her and give her all your cash, I get paid. I put my foot in her ass, I won't marry the bitch and give her half, I get mohead. And then I laugh at that one bitch shit. I got a gang of hoes, I get freak ass lick these balls and toes.
Now stupid little bitches get tossed if they don't realize that I'm the motherfucking boss. Come on down and get your ass pinched. And if you talk shit, get your
Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome to week 47 here on Body Bags. I am your host Moodz616, and thank you once again for dropping in, guys. Yeah, it's Sunday, and it is, of course, Anthology week. Yes, anthologies. What can I say about anthology films, man? Probably my second favorite subgenre of horror films, behind slashers for myself. I love slasher films, but anthology films rank right up there. I love them to death. I own a shit ton of them, and I'm always looking for more anthology films. This is one that I've had in the collection for a long time. I never actually gave it like a proper watch, so I thought I would do this one this week. Never heard like anything about this film at all. I believe it came out in 2008, I want to say. It's an Australian anthology film consisting of 3 stories. And it is called Cannibal Suburbia. I'm not really 100% sure what the title is supposed to be representing, because there's really no... I mean, I guess a little bit, but I don't know, man. The title is very kind of misleading to this film, but... Anyways, so getting into the first story. Well, first off, I'll say, you can see the guys in the background here. This anthology film is hosted by these 2 guys. Basically, that mean-looking fucking clown back there. He's basically just kind of reading stories to the other googly-eyed dude wearing the pantyhose on his head. Yeah, so the stories are basically, they're not connected at all. And there's really no wraparound story. It's just kind of hosted by these guys. And so anyways, the film starts out with these guys reading a story and stuff like that. Gets in the first one. And the premise of the first story is actually very kind of weird. It doesn't even really have a structured story to it. It's basically just a bunch of kind of scenes of people partying, doing drugs, and then which leads into like some murder and mayhem and stuff like that. And it's basically just kind of clips from a whole pile of different people that kind of connect at the end, but not really. There's no story to it at all. The very first story is definitely the weakest in this one. There's really no point to it. It all kind of felt like it was just kind of filler. It was just scenes of people doing things and talking and nothing. There's no structure at all. It's kind of weird. Then of course it gets into more of these guys doing their shit in between the segments and stuff. Then you get into story 2, which is about these 2. I would say probably like late 20s or whatever. These guys are basically pranksters. They like to pull pranks on people. They like to do very childish pranks, like, Nicky 9 door, whatever the fuck it is, ring the doorbell, run away. Burning shit on people's doorsteps, like childish pranks like that and stuff like that. Anyways, one of the guys is like obsessed with finding his doppelganger. And so they continue to do pranks, and they're just always trying to come up with like the ultimate pranks and stuff like that. And meanwhile, this guy just keeps obsessing about finding his doppelganger. And his partner's just like, nah, man, you're never going to find your doppelganger. But lo and behold, of course, they come across his doppelganger. And so they get the bright idea that they're just going to start fucking with him. That doesn't turn out very well for them. They start to, play tricks on him and shit like that. And they're fucking with him and shit. And then they kind of take it too far, and the doppelganger turns out to be something more than they weren't anticipating. And yeah, so I'll just leave that one right there. The second story was my favorite in this one. This one was actually kind of fun. Like I said, the pranks that were, that they were doing in the film were so childish and so immature, but kind of entertaining and stuff. It was kind of cool. I liked the whole thing with the doppelganger thing. It was kind of interesting. And then you get into the third story, which is basically about this guy. he's kind of like a player, and he's telling his buddy that he's going to hook up with a bunch of chicks tonight, and he doesn't give a shit if he remembers their names in the morning and whatnot and stuff. He's just being a total douchebag. Anyways, he ends up picking up this girl. He picked up the wrong girl. Basically what happens is he picks her up, he ends up getting knocked out, he wakes up, and he's being tortured. This girl's like torturing the shit out of him and stuff like that. And that's basically the premise of that one. I can't really say a whole lot more about that one. But yeah, there's some nasty parts in the torture part of this anthology film. Yeah, I mean, with some penis mutilation and stuff like that. So, but overall, the segment was kind of dry. I felt it was just it felt kind of forced and stuff. It wasn't really. I mean, it was better than the first one, but you know, not as good as the second one. So, but yeah, and then it gets back into these guys. They come in between every segment and stuff. They're just doing some really weird shit. The film ends with some really gross antics by these guys and stuff like that. And you know. But my overall thoughts on this one, I gotta say, I sometimes I get kind of bummed out when, you know, these anthology films don't have wraparound stories. Even though there is hosts and there's, you know, these kind of minor segments and stuff, I wish that there was a wraparound story. It makes it so much more enjoyable. Or even have some of the stories kind of connect and stuff. They don't have to, but that's always nice. But these ones are just very odd. Like the very first story doesn't make any sense, and they're very different. You know, the middle one almost feels like it's not a horror themed story until the very end of this the doppelganger story. And then the last one, of course, is your kind of typical, I hate to use the word torture porn, but it's basically just a torture. That's all it is. I don't get me wrong, I hate the term torture porn, so I won't say that, but it's basically all it is. It's just it's three different segments that are, you know, totally different. But you know, overall, it's a very, very low budget film released by Midnight Releases, so you know what you're going to get with the low budget stuff. Apparently, this actually did win an award for best guerrilla underground type film in Australia. I can see it. It's different. It's not horrible by any means. I can see some people probably not liking this one to the fullest. I guess I would loosely recommend this if you're just. It's a quick watch. It's a really, really quick watch. This one only runs about 70 minutes, maybe just over 70 minutes. So, you know, 3 stories, you know, pretty average, about 20 minutes a piece and stuff. So, but yeah, you know, overall, it is hit and miss. It's not very gory. It's not very bloody. The stories aren't the greatest and stuff. But if I had to rate this one, I'd probably just give it bang on a 5 out of 10. You know, I just loosely recommend this one. I did have a little bit of fun with it. I did want to get to the end. Like with any anthology film, you know, if you're not really feeling one story, it is going to end soon, which that's the best thing about anthology films is that the payoff is so quick in you know, in all the stories and stuff. So, but yeah, Cannibal Suburbia, I mean, you could probably pick this one up for like dirt cheap, maybe like $1 or $2 or something, I don't know. But like I said, man, if you're a really big fan of anthology films, maybe give it a shot. It's very different. It's low budget, so... Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for week 47 here. And, of course, this is the end of Anthology Week 2. So we'll be back next week with another theme. Hope to see you there in week 48. And I will see you next Sunday. Peace out, guys.